Right, good evening, everybody. It's Sam here again. I am joined with Pete, one of my mates. Say hello, Pete.
Hello.
Right, so we would we were just saying before we started filming that we're we're frustrated with the minimization, so we're back for another hindsight session. And we're just hoping that all of the hindsight trading eventually leads to
Catches up.
it leads to it means that we see it live and then we um, yeah, make bank, bro. So I really liked Neg this morning. Obviously, we saw it go pretty crazy yesterday. Um, and this is like this first red day pattern is something that I know a lot of like Tim Sykes, Huddy, Papa John, all those guys talk about, and it's Jack Kellogg. It's a real, it's a massive part of their arsenal. Um, and I think what's key is that from the breakout level, it's well over 300% move. Like the breakout level is like 15-ish, and we've gone all the way up yesterday well, yesterday was just carnage, wasn't it? So what I'm frustrated about today is that like I almost thought that we just gapped down too much, so I wasn't sure how to play it. And then when I started seeing some of the guys on Twitter post their charts, like it just all of a sudden started to make sense. And I think like one of the issues that I had was that the volume in pre-market is so light. So where do you set your risk? And I don't know
Yeah, that
what are your
it,
thoughts?
no, that's this I would call this also. You mentioned first red day. I think this also falls under the pattern that those guys use, overextended gap down
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I
well, yeah.
mean, same thing, just different words there. But no, you're right. With the bigger the gap down,
Because if
you're
this is
risking that. You want to risk red green, ideally.
that's the thing. So if this is like hovering around like 64, you've got like a really clear defined risk level of 67 and a half, haven't you? Um, but we're down into the 50s. So
Yeah,
I've seen a few people post their charts and they've got short quite early. Um, and well, I suppose they've just hit it hard off this first candle. It's failed straight away, and they've hit it hard. Um, the issue with that is that it recovers, and like I would be again like because we've got no clear risk level. If you hit it on this first candle and it starts coming back, I'd be getting twitchy. I don't know. What do you think?
I agree. That first that opening, what you call it, 2 3 minutes there. I've gotten swiped on all the time short. That's I have a note on my thing here. Don't chase weakness. That happens to me often.
Yeah,
But like you're saying, you got that. We got that push there, 5 minutes in, but it came down quick. We had the stuff candle, but you're over VWAP. I get it. And then I think did it halt down?
I don't know. Did it?
I don't know. I don't.
Might have,
I could be wrong.
it
That
might
wasn't.
no, it might have. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of a gap here.
Yeah,
Um,
it could not be, but
oh no, it halted up.
halted. Yeah, okay,
It
gotcha.
hold. I remember it halted up here. Because there's a yeah, there's a gap
So
of
I
six
guess
6 minutes here. There's a 6 minute gap, so hold it up. So imagine
point.
you're short in a
Yeah,
hold,
if I was short
and
in the oven and
after
halted
what
up, I'd
happened
be
yesterday, you're thinking, I'd be bricking it.
me as well. Me as well.
But here though, you get this halts up and then stuffs.
Yeah, pretty big stuff.
That's a pretty big stuff. That's the highest volume candle so far today. And after a halt up, the fact that it's failed so quickly, I think then we can probably be quite convicted with our short. And this is where I think that we want to be hitting it sort of around anywhere around here. And because now we've got a clear risk level because this now 59-ish, so 58.80 whatever, 58.80 is our risk because we know that if that reclaims, then oh boy, you want to get out, don't you?
Yep.
Um,
And I know you and I weren't talking about this on this call here, but we were just talking about range and, something like this where like you said, the breakout was from what, 15, 20?
yeah,
Not that it's going there today, but this thing is moving dollars at a time, $5, $10 moves.
yeah.
Uh, so I guess even that 55, give or take, that's a you're on it. But yeah, no. Point being though, that's something I have to get more comfortable with. Like we said, giving it some space there,
I think,
understanding how far this has come and how far this ticker itself moves.
yeah, because like the thing is, if you like, we've seen enough of these to know that they work. Like, this is a pattern that so many people play, and like Twitter's full of them. So equally, like, we should be quite happy risking whatever you want to, whatever your risk is dollar wise. Um, we should be quite happy. And if we take an L, we take an L, but the setup's there. Um, and like, I think
Even
from
where
that,
you have, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, so I was going to say, even from this point on, if you haven't got
Yeah.
full size here, you could be adding into pops. You could then look to move down. If you wanted to be aggressive, you could then look to lower your risk level. Um, I don't know if that's sort of commonplace, but that might mean that you might be able to get a little bit more size in, um, as long as you're covering into these sort of, and then just looking to cover into these flushes before it reverses.
Yeah, those are it tried pushing through VWAP there twice. Like you said, move your risk down to that more recent high, maybe.
Yeah, and then when it fails here again, like you could almost be thinking about entering over here as well, because you still got this risk. If you have covered, you could be looking to recycle. You still got this same level from earlier, seen
Yep.
its stuff before even attempting that to test this level. So again, we can be quite convicted that um, this isn't probably likely to be tested. Even still, we can still take a pretty decent risk reward. And don't want that one. And then we can see it after the
Big
bounce.
chart. Damn.
Yeah, falls again, another few bucks. Then it does actually eventually retest that level and then quickly rejected. And then it's made LOD in after hours.
That was a little squeeze out at the end there. And
A little squeeze for, yeah. I think that's why it's important just to be covering, paying yourself along the way. But
absolutely.
equally, if you do get caught in this, like, obviously you want to be, you want to be covering when it starts getting a bit of volume. And equally though, like, I would probably end up making some sort of stupid emotional cover, like here. That's probably what I would do in the moment. And
Yeah, and they know that, I think.
yeah, and then yeah,
They,
I think you're right. Like, they
they
just,
ran it. They ran it. Well, that level that we were drawing there, 5250, let's just say.
yeah,
They ran it right through that. I'm sure people had stops there,
yeah,
and then it fell apart again.
yeah. So they just use that as the event to get
Yep,
another, a bit of a spike in volume because you got shorts covering. They then sell into those covers,
absolutely.
and yeah, it falls. So it's just one of those. I'm just thinking, because I think I just looked at it this morning and then sort of just took it off radar, which is frustrating because if I'd kept it on radar, and I probably would have absolutely screwed it up. But equally, like, I remember thinking throughout the day that Carve was doing weird things. You had COHN as well. And I was thinking, like, you don't want to get too greedy with this because it could suddenly start building a little bit of momentum from some of those. Um, it's worth noting as well with this, I think Carve, like, they're all sort of failing around the same time. So it just picked up a little bit of momentum with Carve perhaps, and then
Yep.
gave another bite at the cherry. And you could have, with recycles, you could be looking here, like, if you're risking 1R, you could be looking at if you play this well, I'm not saying, and I'm not saying that I would have at all, but you could be looking at like 9, 10 plus.
Oh yeah. Uh, yeah, big opportunity. Got to trade it well. Like we said, I don't. Me personally, I'm working on it, but if it was there, it was. I
I th-
mean, the whole morning, all the way up until let's say even 1 o'clock, all big pops were sold pretty hard on the first red day.
yeah,
It's good to see.
yeah, yeah, and I think once it sets this low of 44, I suppose, and it starts basing here, you probably would be should be thinking, and I'm not saying I would in the moment. And like I said, this is like the hindsight series,
Yeah,
but it comes
yeah,
from a place of just being so fucked off with missing these golden negs opportunities. Pardon the dad joke pun. Um, so no, it's good.
killing it.
So it's yeah. So it's good to be able to chat through it. Yeah, thanks for joining me, and hopefully we'll hit it
Tim,
hard. We'll get it next
thank you
time.
for having me. I look forward to more of these in the future.
Yeah, man, it's fun. It's fun. And one thing I always say, like, I've said a few times on when I talk, like, it's just good talking about it and then filming it as well. Like, just I don't know, always just puts like a little bit of perhaps pressure on it. So you think actually I want to be as clear as possible. Um,
Yeah,
and I love the idea of journaling, etc. So yeah,
I mean,
thank
even people in the room talk about it. They're typing out their plan just to, put it out there, get it, reinforce the thought in your head. Is this actually a good plan? As I type it out, go over it again.
And I think
You have the
that's
plan.
the beauty of like what we were talking about this morning. Like we spoke about Neg, we spoke about Arpo, we spoke about Neo, AMC in the washout longs because of the massive market gap down, and like look what happened.
Yeah, and
Like
frustrating. I didn't, frustrating for some minimalization there, but the fact that that was the plan, we spoke it out. It's. I'm happy that thought process was on par there for what happened.
well, that's the thing. I think like first you have to have the ideas, and then
Yep.
conviction will eventually come. Like there's only so many times you're going to see the same thing and then get so pissed off with missing it before you go,
Yep.
I'm gonna hit it. And like even if like there's another guy from that gang, Bryce Toohey, and he's doing amazing things at the moment. And he spoke
Yep.
about how when he started, he just risked $2. His risk level was always $2, but it was always about process, process, process. And then once he got the process nailed, um,
Tightened up risk there.
yeah, all of a sudden, once you start getting that 50, 60% win rate, then you can start going to, I don't know, $100, $200 and
Yep.
go from there. Because like I think the thing is like with AMC as well, like I know it's easy in hindsight, but like say you do risk 1 hour is just say $1. Geez, I know we wouldn't have, like we both said before
Yeah.
came on air, we didn't expect we didn't
But you'd
expect
take that
this.
you'd take that 1 hour all day long for
Oh
that.
man, this is what I mean. And it's the same though, like Neo, exactly the same. Like there's a $3, $4 upside move there, and you're never going to capture it all. But if you're
Nope.
risking 50 cents and you're winning, $3, well that's awesome. And like one thing about being in like investors in underground with Nate is as soon as the market gaps down like this, like we know what he's thinking. He's thinking
That's a
about
go-to.
his go-to then is wash out
Yes.
longs, Neo, AMC.
Yep.
He went straight away. And I remember because we had the same thing happen maybe a couple months ago. Straight away he went
Straight away.
Neo,
Yep.
and there were a few others
Believe
that he
I
mentioned.
believe last time it happened, they worked just as well.
Yeah, we'll have to find the date. Cool, right, man. I'll catch you later.
All right. Have a good night, Tim. Nice
You
talking to you.
too. Nice talking. Bye bye.